great teacher motivates, inspires, gets kids to go further than they ever thought they could go before.
Great teaching is also something that includes a teacher never ever giving up on her students.
What makes a great teacher is one that is approachable, that loves students unconditionally, regardless of their learning style, and that one who is willing to listen and learn from a parent.
A great teacher is someone who you know cares about your kids.
Of all the things schools provide, great teaching is the one that can most contribute to a student's academic success. Over the past 5 years, leaders from Pittsburgh Public Schools and the Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers have worked together to craft a system of teacher evaluation that provides teachers better feedback and helps individual teachers identify their strengths and weaknesses in the classroom.
6 years ago, I don't think we had an effective observation process. 6 years ago, you went in, did an observation, and signed a piece of paper saying the teacher was satisfactory. There wasn't much of a conversation about what was satisfactory about that teaching process.
One of the things that we're working on is doing school-wide instructional rounds. And what those are basically teachers coming together to observe and then reflect on each other's practices so we can learn from each other.
It's not just the evaluation process that's important. It's more important to have a strong dialogue and to increase the teacher's understanding as well as increase my understanding. RISE does that wonderfully. It gives us such a great language to be able to speak to teachers with. And again, it's basically a standard. There are certain things that we need teachers to do more of and get better at so we can increase student achievement.
Our district has allowed us as teachers to really just embrace what it means to be a teacher and to be a professional and to feel like we're part of the process.
Classroom observations, known as RISE in Pittsburgh, account for a full 50% of a teacher's final evaluation in the new report card that teachers will be getting for the first time this August. As more teacher leaders and principals are getting into classrooms, teachers are becoming more accustomed to giving and receiving feedback that can be helpful.
It used to be you just had a classroom, your door was closed and nobody else was ever in there. Now, since we began the district implemented RISE, now we have kind of more people coming in and out of the classroom, and it's really a way to just become more comfortable with that.
Being able to open our doors and say, this is what I'm doing in my classroom is scary for some people, but I think it makes us much better individually and communally.
In addition to feedback from observations, teachers are looking at how they are supporting student academic growth by analyzing how students are doing on a variety of assessments. Teachers use test data to help students master concepts and skills they'll need to be successful academically.
A lot of times with the data, if you see students are performing lower than where you had anticipated, a lot of times that gives us the ability to have the conversation with the kids about what's going on.
We have really worked hard to make sure that we're hitting every kid where they are. So we've collected a lot of data. We have looked at a lot of individual students, but then students as a group, and how can we group them, and how can we do our differentiated instruction, and how can we really help them to meet the targets that we've set for them.
It's all about trying to figure out, how do I meet the student on their level and help them understand what it is I need for them to understand.
The third and final lens teachers are using to better understand how students are learning in their classrooms are student surveys called tripod surveys. These grade and age appropriate questionnaires capture student feedback on teacher practices that are highly correlated with academic success.
Students are honest. They are painfully honest sometimes. For example, last year our tripod survey as a school, the information I got back was not good, and it helped us plan what we were missing from the student perspective. It let us know we were going in the right direction. We were seeing the same things, and the students were seeing the same things.
I think the kids really tell you what's great teaching. So when I do an observation, I tend to look at the kids more than the teacher.
Children can easily tell you if a teacher likes them or doesn't, if the teacher's practice is good, if the classroom environment is one that the teacher can manage. So it's just important to have a conversation with your children.
Families and community members can play a critical role in supporting great teaching by helping teachers better understand their students and by supporting their school in any way they can, including getting their child to school on time every day, making sure homework gets done, and volunteering in the classroom.
we know our children. We know what their strengths are. We know how they learn well. And we have to communicate that with teachers, and we have to have some confidence in what we know, but also be willing to work with teachers who do know a lot about teaching and learning, a lot about the curriculum, a lot about pedagogy that parents may not know.
It's always a great thing to have more hands on deck when it comes to supporting students, and that could be students that are struggling as well as students that are advanced in their learning.
Spreading the word that academics is important. No matter where you go in the Homewood community, someone having a conversation about how's your schoolwork? What are your grades? Are you reading? It's giving books to kids to read, building libraries at home for our students, because that's the kind of support that we need.
We really could, use a lot of support in getting kids to school. So I mean, if you're outside on your porch, I mean, moving kids to school and getting them, off the streets and into the school. I mean, that's one of the things that we can't do, because we're here. We can't be out in the community, getting kids to come to the school.
Observations, student growth data, and student feedback all help give a better picture of how effective a teacher is at getting a child to learn. While no evaluation system will be perfect, you can help students in Pittsburgh by joining A+ schools to advocate for teachers to continue to get strong multi-lens evaluations that are reliable, accurate, and that provide them feedback for improvement.